Victories of the day, March 24. 1. 1726, the formalization of the Bernoulli principle. Daniel Bernoulli finalized the initial mathematical drafts that would lead to his masterwork, Hydrodynamica, establishing the relationship between the speed of a fluid and its pressure. Before this period, the movement of liquids and gases was understood only through observation, lacking a mathematical law to explain why water moves faster through a narrow pipe. The system utilized the conservation of energy for flowing fluids, proving that as the velocity of a moving fluid increases, the pressure within that fluid simultaneously decreases. This shifted classical mechanics into the age of aerodynamics, providing the theoretical proof that air moving over a curved surface could generate an upward force. This framework is the mathematical heart of all modern aeronautical engineering. It is the exact reason an airplane wing generates lift and why a curveball spins in a baseball game. 2. 1882, the germ theory revolution, World TB Day. Robert Koch presented his findings to the Physiological Society of Berlin, proving for the first time that tuberculosis, TB, was caused by the bacterium Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Before this presentation, TB was the leading cause of death in the world, and many believed it was a hereditary condition or caused by bad air, miasma. Koch utilized a specialized staining technique and a solid culture medium, agar, to grow the bacteria in a lab, proving that the disease could be passed from one organism to another. This shifted medicine from observation to etiology, the study of the specific causes of disease, establishing the rigorous logical steps now known as Koch's postulates. This discovery provided the scientific target needed for the development of the BCG vaccine and the first antibiotics, transforming TB from a death sentence into a treatable infection. 3. 1883, the discovery of the Vibrio cholerae bacterium. Exactly 1 year after his TB breakthrough, Robert Koch arrived in Calcutta on March 24 to finalize his identification of the bacterium responsible for the global cholera pandemic. Prior to 1883, cholera was thought to be caused by swamp gas, leaving cities helpless as the infection spread rapidly through their water supplies. The study utilized microscopic isolation from the intestinal lining of victims, identifying a comma-shaped bacterium that lived and multiplied in contaminated water. This shifted sanitation engineering toward the waterborne theory, proving that the only way to stop a pandemic was to chemically treat and mechanically filter the public drinking water. This achievement led to the creation of the first modern water treatment plants, shifting urban planning toward the biological safety of the population. 4. 1893, the refinement of the Prime Number Theorem. Mathematicians finalized the proofs relating to the distribution of prime numbers, a major milestone in analytic number theory. Previously, prime numbers seemed to appear at random, and scientists lacked a formula to predict how many primes exist below a certain value. The system utilized the Riemann zeta function to show that as numbers get larger, the density of primes decreases in a predictable, logarithmic pattern. This shifted mathematics from simple counting toward complex analysis, proving that even the most chaotic-looking sequences in nature follow a rigid, underlying order. This framework is the backbone of modern cryptography. The security of digital encryption today depends entirely on the prime number logic established during this era. 5. 1896, the first radio signal transmission. Alexander Popov demonstrated the transmission of radio waves between different buildings at St. Petersburg University, marking a milestone in electromagnetic engineering. Prior to this, the existence of radio waves was a laboratory curiosity, but no one had successfully used them to send a coherent, coded message across a physical distance without wires. The system utilized a coherer, a primitive radio wave detector, connected to a telegraph printer that translated the invisible pulses into a written Morse code message. This shifted communication science toward the wireless age, proving that information could be digitized and sent through the atmosphere at the speed of light. This achievement is the direct mathematical ancestor of Wi-Fi and 5G technology, proving the ether could be used as a global infrastructure for data exchange. 6. 1935, the photoelectric measurement of blood oxygen. Researchers finalized the first protocols for using photoelectric cells to measure blood oxygen saturation, a breakthrough in clinical physiology. Before this, the only way to check a patient's oxygen level was to draw a painful arterial blood sample and analyze it in a lab, which was too slow for emergency surgery. The system utilized the principle of spectrophotometry, which measures how different wavelengths of light are absorbed by oxygen-rich versus oxygen-poor hemoglobin. This shifted anesthesiology from guesswork to real-time data monitoring, allowing doctors to see instantly if a patient's breathing was failing. This logic is the foundation of the modern pulse oximeter. The small clip placed on your finger in hospitals today uses the exact same light absorption math established on this day. 7. 1959, the maser breakthrough in quantum electronics. Researchers announced the successful operation of a continuous wave maser, a device capable of amplifying microwaves with extreme precision. Prior to 1959, electronic signals were noisy and weak, making it impossible to detect the faint radio whispers coming from deep space. The system utilized stimulated emission, using the energy of atoms to clone photons, to create a perfectly synchronized beam of electromagnetic radiation. This shifted physics toward quantum optics, proving that we could manipulate subatomic particles to create the most stable and accurate clocks in the universe. This achievement is the direct technological parent of the laser and atomic clocks. Without it, GPS systems would be off by kilometers every day. 8. 1989, the Exxon Valdez Environmental Impact Baseline. The Exxon Valdez oil spill occurred in Alaska, inadvertently launching the largest real-time study in the history of restoration ecology. Previously, the long-term effects of crude oil on marine food chains were largely theoretical, and engineers lacked a standardized protocol for large-scale environmental triage. The system utilized bioremediation, using specialized bacteria to eat the oil, and long-term chemical tracking to see how toxins move from plankton up to apex predators. This shifted marine biology toward a systems recovery model, proving that ecosystems require specific human interventions to recover from industrial disasters. The data gathered created the gold standard for environmental law, leading to global requirements for double-hulled tankers and modern spill response technology. 9. 1992, the signing of the Open Skies Treaty. 24 nations signed the Treaty on Open Skies, applying aerospace surveillance to international diplomacy and conflict prevention. Prior to 1992, aerial reconnaissance was seen as an act of espionage, leading to international tension and the potential for nuclear escalation due to misunderstandings. The system utilized standardized multispectral cameras on unarmed observation aircraft, allowing nations to fly over each other's territory to verify peaceful status. This shifted geopolitical science toward a transparency model, proving that scientific data sharing could act as a more effective deterrent than secrecy. This achievement formalized the use of satellite imagery as a tool for trust verification, a concept now used to monitor everything from illegal logging to international border security. 10. 1993, the discovery of Comet Shoemaker-Levy 9. Carolyn and Eugene Shoemaker and David Levy discovered a unique comet that appeared to be strung out like pearls while orbiting Jupiter. Previously, it was widely believed that large planetary impacts were events that only happened in the very distant, ancient past. The discovery utilized wide-field photographic plates, which revealed that Jupiter's massive gravity had ripped the comet apart into 21 distinct fragments. This shifted planetary defense toward a new sense of urgency, as the world watched these fragments collide with Jupiter a year later with massive force. This event provided the first real-time data on cosmic impacts, leading directly to the creation of the Near-Earth Object (NEO) tracking programs that protect Earth today. 11. Scientist of the Day, Daniel Bernoulli. Daniel Bernoulli, 1700 to 1782, provided the mathematical wings for humanity by proving how pressure and velocity govern the movement of the world. 12. Scientist of the Day, Robert Koch. Robert Koch, 1843 to 1910, acted as the detective of the microscopic, providing the logical framework to identify and hunt down invisible killers like TB and cholera. Koch is widely regarded as one of the founders of modern bacteriology. His work was fundamental in establishing the germ theory of disease, which proves that specific microorganisms cause specific diseases. Koch formulated a set of 4 criteria used to establish a causal relationship between a microbe and a disease. These remain a gold standard in infectious disease research. Koch revolutionized lab practices by introducing the use of agar, instead of gelatin, for bacterial cultures and the Petri dish, developed by his assistant Julius Petri. He also pioneered techniques for staining bacteria and microphotography to make them visible.